Welcome to In the Hot Seat with the Tenney Group. I'm Spencer Tenney. It's good to be with you. So how can you scale your business without losing total control of all your back office functions? We're going to talk about that today with a special guest of ours, Rocco Marrari, Vice President of Sales Imaging and Workflow at EBE Technologies. Rocco, welcome to Hot Seat.
Spencer, thank you. Excited to be here.
Well, before we heat things up a little bit, sir, why don't you just take 30 seconds or so and tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing over there at EBE Technologies.
Sure, no problem. So at EBE, we've been in business now 50 years. Our sole focus is transportation. So what we really look to do and really focus on is to allow our carriers to be able to, as we just stated, scale up and not have to add any back office staff. And we do that by leveraging AI technology and workflows and really just allowing that staff to handle the exceptions. At EBE, we feel if anything's in standard, there's no need to show it to somebody. Let's let the system handle that. And then we just let the staff handle the one-offs or the exceptions. That's a benefit for both the carrier and the carrier's customers, because now they're able to do things in almost real time, where in the past it may take a day up to 2 weeks. So that's really what we're focused on here at EBE.
No, and I think this is a timely interview. I think it might have been even yesterday. Atri came out with another report about how the cost of just doing ordinary business continues to go up, and so what you're doing in this space is pretty timely. So let me just let's talk about the AI element of that now. For those that don't live in the world of artificial intelligence, it's easy to kind of get lost in terms of what that actually means. So maybe just walk us through, like what I kind of teased out this conversation, this topic about scaling and not getting overwhelmed with all the back office functions that come with that. So just kind of walk us through, how does it actually work? How does artificial intelligence unload that for you?
Sure. So at the simplest, I want everybody to think of AI, artificial intelligence, as something that a human typically have to do, let's just say a repetitive task. Well, in lieu of having them do that repetitive task, we're going to let the system use their automated decision support to handle that task for them. So at the core basic, it is automating any repetitive task. So if we start there, Spencer, if you think about it, something as simple as indexing. Documents come in from carriers, they have to get indexed. Somebody has to manually do that and then manually look for that missing paperwork. So in lieu of having a person sitting there at 40 hours a week at, let's say, $25 an hour, we'll just call it that number. Why not let the system, with integrations put into the TMS and the electronic logs, let's let the system handle that and use AI to search for those missing documents if they come in, and then start sending alerts out to people. So instead of somebody in the back office having to pick up their phone or send an email to a driver or driver manager, we're letting the system go out and make those notifications. So in turn, that speeds up productivity, and then you get that KPI information from that AI engine. So again, at the simplest, we're just looking at, let's take those repetitive tasks and let a system handle that.
I mean, it sounds almost too good to be true, sir. So I guess my question is this: why is it that, I think that you're seeing a lot. The adoption of a variety of different AI applications
Yes.
Accelerate
Yes.
tremendously. Where do you still see resistance? What and why? Why are the what are the reasons for why people would not want to at least experiment with AI? What do you see as the primary concerns?
People are afraid they're going to lose their jobs. That's what I hear every day. I was just on a site visit yesterday, and we were presenting what we just spoke about. And I could just see in the staff, they're looking at each other and they're concerned. They go, "What am I going to do?" So at that point, the CFO actually said, "Listen, no one's going to be losing their jobs here. We're going to reallocate those positions that the AI and the system is going to handle, and put you in something that's maybe more enjoyable." It can't be fun to sit in front of a computer and index and doc type all day. So those typically also are very high turnover positions. So what we've seen is, as that turn happens, also they're not just replacing that. But in terms of barriers, it's really the employee. They're frightened that they're going to lose their position.
No, and I can get that. So what are some of the new functions when you get some of these like very repetitive remedial type
Sure.
activities? What where are you observing, like what are the new functions that the human element is being kind of redirected to? What are some examples of some things that you're seeing?
So a good example is maybe in the AP process. Um, you know, in a lot of current states, you're having maybe a CFO level, controller level. They're having to track down packing slips because by the time that invoice gets to them, it's missing a ton of items. Or they're having to maybe try to figure out allocations, things such as that, to where I don't want to say their pay grade, but their pay grade and their education is well above that. It's not something that's satisfying for them. So they want to
Hmm.
handle, their CFO test, their controller test, something that they went to school for that they truly enjoy. So when it comes
Hmm.
to things like automation with AI and robotic processes, they're able now to focus on what they enjoy, on their position, things such as that, without having to do that remedial, tracking down paperwork, things such as that. And again, with the way the systems are designed nowadays, we don't really want any of the staff to do that because it's not an enjoyable position. So let's let all the entire organization do what they enjoy doing, what they're good at, and let the robotic processes handle everything else.
An area in where our worlds kind of collide is around mergers and acquisitions, and you have
Yes.
like the combination of two separate companies. Naturally, there's always the desire to eliminate redundancies and some
Yes.
other things. To what degree have you seen AI play a role in that integration and that effort to create more synergies through acquisitions?
It's huge. We have carriers who've doubled, tripled, quadrupled in size, and they've gone from 2,000 tractors in their fleet to 6, 7, 8,000, and they're not adding any any headcount to the back office, and that's truly able to be accomplished by utilizing AI and robotic process automation. There is no other way about it. If you really break it down and think about it, let's say at the current state that carrier is maybe they're an LTL and they're handling 40,000 transactions a day, 30,000 transactions a day, and they have 3 to 4 back office billing staff handling that currently. If they double in size, that's going to double now. So you would think that you would need to add another 3, 4 people to the back office to handle that volume coming in. And that back in the day, that's what they've done. They had to double or inherit the staff from the other organization that they acquired in order to be able to achieve the same productivity that they've been accustomed to. By utilizing today's AI and robotic processes, I have carriers who tripled, quadrupled in size, have not added one person to staff because the systems are doing all the heavy lifting. So they're
Mm.
the system's the one that's doing the indexing and doc typing, tracking down missing documents. It even goes as far as Spencer, maybe you guys are hearing it as well, to where you, carriers are having to log in to customer web portals in order to get paid from their customers. So there's a lot of big culprits that do that. So
Mm.
with the robotic process, when that biller hits print out of their TMS in order to invoice that customer, where in today they would have to sit in front of now that web portal, type in all the information, 20, 30, 40 hours a week at times. When they hit print, the robotic process actually logs in with a puppeteer process and does all the keystrokes as you and I would be doing. So by utilizing all those functions, the totality of that is they're not adding any bodies to the back office because you're still handling those exceptions. So as I stated, it's letting the system do all the heavy lifting and they're just handling those one-offs. And that's really where we see the synergy with what your firm does and with what we do. You're looking to help these customers, acquire other carriers. And again, I think some pushback is, what do we do with the staff? When you look at technology now, when that occurs, there is no need for that pushback because we're letting the system handle all that.
No, I think that's really exciting. So my next question is this. I can't help but to kind of look at the future. Like these are some pretty transformational type
Mhm.
functions. But what other types of AI applications do you see coming down the pike, both through EBE and just as an industry as a whole?
Sure. There's a whole array of it. We know now we're at the safety realm. We see a lot of technology in safety. So you could use predictive analytics. Is this driver a safe driver? Is this driver going to be a safe driver? By using the
Mm,
technology aspect of it, you can now predict those well ahead of time. A good example with what we offer is on the safety side. Let's say you have drivers who maybe it's a three swerve incident, and when they hit that third swerve, they are going to be scheduled for training. So with the integration points into all the telematics and so forth, we're able to pick that up. Then we can notify certain people in real time. Hey, Rocco's hit this third swerve. He's scheduled for training. Go ahead, log in, take this class. Pass it. Hopefully you pass it, and then we go ahead and place that into a DQ file. When you get to terms of predictive analytics now, by utilizing the AI, now you can see a trend occur, and hopefully you can get in front of that and be very proactive instead of in the current state, there's a lot of reactivity. So the big thing that I'm seeing in the future state is utilizing the AI
mm,
and RPA technology to keep drivers safe, to keep you know passengers safe, to keep everybody safe on the roadways. And that's really where I
mm.
think we're going to start getting to. The billing side's fantastic. Everybody wants to get paid more quickly. AP side's fantastic, but we're starting to see big trends in the safety world and in the even in the recruiting world, to where you can start trending these drivers and placing them based on where they've gone in the past.
So I'm curious. How would what advice would you give to executive teams as they kind of approach multi-year strategies and the budgets associated with them as they're considering AI, some of which they've never even included this as far as a P&L budget? Like how should they be thinking about this as part of maintaining um, positioning in the market and,
Sure.
and trying to be market leaders? Like how should they be thinking about that?
Sure. Well, everybody wants to be best in class. And to do so, you have to cover the entire organization in that aspect of it. And also, you have to be forward facing with your customers. So if you can give your customers, from the carrier's perspective, a great experience, on time deliveries, quick turnaround on your paperwork, that's going to put you best in class. A lot of executives look at this as a spend. And in one aspect, it is a spend, but you need to look at it more of a return. So, the typical return on investment on something such as this is less than a year. Typically, we're in about the 8-month time frame. So when you look at it as a return on your investment, not just that spend, that outlay of cash, then it really starts putting things in perspective. A good example is I had one carrier. They're decent size. They were about 450 tractors, and they had a big concern with the outlay of money. But they were looking, as you were saying, as the long term goals. How can we be the best in class? How can we increase our size? How can we grow? And they put an ROI together, and then within 8 months, they were seeing a $300,000 a day positive influx of cash flow. And the only way that was able to occur was by embracing technology. So where they went, Spencer, from taking 3 days to a week to bill their customer, they're now billing that same customer in under 3 minutes of driver delivery and capturing those documents. So that also,
Wow.
that's twofold. That pleases the carrier, but also that pleases the customer, because now they're getting their PODs immediately. They're getting all their information in almost real time. So that's, when I'm talking to the executive C level, and they do have that pushback, that's really how we get around that barrier. Is we say, let's look at this big picture. What would this do for you if you can bill in under 3 minutes? What would it save you if you can prevent one accident from occurring by utilizing this technology? With nuclear verdicts nowadays, that accident may cost a million, three, four, $5, $6 million. So if you can prevent one of,
Or everything. Yeah.
or everything, correct. So if you
Yeah.
can prevent one of those, it's worth looking at this technology for the future for your company.
All right. Man, that's good stuff right there. So I've got one last question for
Sure.
you, Rocco. A little bit of a wild card. I was doing my homework on you. Look like you're an Iowa guy.
I
Is that
am.
correct?
Well,
Now,
I'm from Chicago. I live in Iowa.
okay, okay. So you live in Iowa. Feel the dreams, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Feel the dreams. So my question is this: a huge movie. What would you say is um, what's the best sports movie that we could look at, that when you think about, whether it's Field of Dreams, things that kind of get you inspired, get you pumped up, maybe shed a tear, like my wife gives me a hard time when I watch the movie Rudy.
Sure.
So so so, so what would you say? This, using Field of Dreams as a reference point. What
Sure.
what what would be one of your favorite sports movie that you'd want to pass along to a client or a friend?
So I'm big into horse racing. I own race horses. So for me, it would be Secretariat. But also, I'm a big cyclist, and I love the Tour de France. I love all the um, just the chess matches in it and the whole aspect of it. Netflix has a new series out about the Tour de France. So between those two movies, if you want something that's really going to give you perspective and drive on your day to day, there's nothing in my eyes. There's nothing better. I mean, between Secretariat and the Tour de France, those two shows show personal determination. Really, battling to get where you're at. It shows you nothing comes easy. It shows you, if you want to succeed, if you want to get ahead, you have to put forth that effort, and you have to embrace both the failures and learn from those. And when you do succeed and you do win, you know that it wasn't all you. It was everybody behind you as a team that did that. Even if it's an individual sport like cycling or horse racing, or even golf. I'm a big golfer. There's still a team behind you, even though you're competing on your own. So again, that was long-winded, but those two are my favorite, because you have to have that drive, you have to have that determination, and you just can't stop. You can't give up.
I'm about to go. I'm ready to go run through a wall for you, Rocco. So, and I appreciate that. M&A being, in my humble opinion, the ultimate team sport. Nothing gets done through an individual in the world of mergers and acquisitions. So, hey, listen, great stuff. I really appreciate you sharing these timely insights with us.